So the South African National Defence Force has now hit the ground in the Western Cape. This is part of Operation Prosper that was first announced by President Cyril Ramaphosa during his State of the Nation address in February this year. The objective is to bolster the work of the SAPS in an effort to clamp down on crime. Let's get you the very latest with SABC News reporter Mariska Botha, who's been keeping up with the soldiers. And Mariska, there seems to be quite a heated exchange there. What's happening?
What's happening?
Yes, you're absolutely right. What happens is the SANDF comes in and then they close off an entire block. So if you're in, you're in, and if you're outside, you cannot come in, and vice versa. And they made a stop at this particular house here, and the gentleman who was here was very verbose with the SAPS. And it seemed like he was very upset about what's going on. Let's see if he's willing to speak to us before we show his face to you on camera. Sir, are you willing to talk to us?
Talk.
Right. Okay. Right. He says they are looking for scollies, which means criminals, and they're looking for guns and drugs, and he says he does not have that. And he was very upset about the police entering his premises. Let's see if we can find out what they're doing a little bit further. That gentleman very upset. We're going to see a lot of this in the days and weeks and months to come as the SANDF and the SAPS move in. Of course, how it works is the SANDF secures the area, and then the SAPS can move in and do what they need to do. And Nhlanhla Faso is behind the camera, and we're just following along and see what we can find is going on. As you see, there's a soldier here that's guarding this entrance, if you will, entrance or exit. And the police is moving about in the area, going to various addresses. When we started this morning, the brief that they gave us is that they are going to specific addresses today. They've made several stops along the way. This is just one of the areas where they were deployed to. This is Tafelsig on the Cape Flats. And they're going to a number of areas. Beacon Valley is another one. So Mitchell's Plain, the broader Mitchell's Plain.
These same people will be complaining when crime happens to them. So this is a good thing for me in my eyes. Yes, let them come through, let them search, because you same people in the Cape Flats will be crying when police are not attending to the crime that's happening there. So let them do their dang, bro. If you're innocent, you're innocent. There should be no problem. Why, bro, tripping?
This is one of the areas that they're visiting today, a number of other areas as well. Nhlanhla, let's see what we can see this side. This is unfolding before our very eyes. We also don't know what is going to happen. This particular home is the next one to be searched. The SAPS and SANDF members moved inside there now. And on the side of the house, you can also see there's an SANDF member that secures this side. And at the back, there's a SAPS member. So whoever is in
we're locking down the trap house now.
And that's the purpose of this deployment, is to make it easier for the SAPS to do their job.
Come on.
And that they have security when they go into these areas. You must understand that many of these areas are extremely volatile and very dangerous, even for SAPS members themselves. A number of them have been killed in the line of duty.
Look at that.
Working on areas like this, shot and killed, of course, many of them for their firearms. And that's the main purpose of one of the purposes of this operation, of course, is to find illicit, illegal guns, firearms, and the like. And then
okay, but why are we filming inside people's houses now? Like, I think isn't this crossing the line now? Just because they're searching doesn't mean now you must invade their privacy, okay?
Looking for drugs, which is a major issue. Drug abuse, drug use in this area is very big. I don't know if you watched a little bit earlier when we spoke to a young man who told us he's 30 years old and he's lost a number of friends as a result of the scourge of gang violence, gangsterism, and drug abuse. So my colleague Nhlanhla Faso at the moment is inside the home that they're busy searching. We don't know, of course, what they will find. We don't know if
so then why are you filming the person's house if you don't know?
And we don't know how the day will unfold. So it remains a very dangerous and volatile situation. As you saw, as you just came to us, the gentleman that they were speaking to was very agitated about the situation. He did not like it one bit, but nonetheless...
But I would also be pissed. All these people in my crib, like, just bring 2 people or something to search. I must have camera crews, news reporters, people recording with phones for TikTok. bro, social media influencers in the crib. Like, there's a guy with a do-rag outside, bro. There's a guy dressed like he's going to a Young Thug video shoot outside. Like, what's going on here?
The SAPS is pushing forward. Let me see if I can get to my colleague in Tlantla Faso. There he is, just backing up a little bit. And they're searching through cupboards, doors inside the home. Let's see if we can step outside in Tlantla. This is a private residence, of course. That does not mean that the people in here are guilty of anything at this stage.
So
it's
why
just
in the
being
house?
searched. That same gentleman is walking up and down the street as we speak. He is still very, very agitated. He's saying he does not harbor criminals, he does not have guns, he does not have drugs. That's what he made sure. Let's see if we can speak to Mr. Cameron here for a moment.
Now I'd be trying to sue, bro.
Mr. Cameron, you've
Ain't no
been
way
here,
you just in my crib, bro, with
since
cameras and
they
everything.
deployed this morning. What is your impression thus far of how it is going?
Yeah, so I mean, so far it's still very early on in the operation, so we'll need to see. I guess in the long term, it is concerning that we've seen that there hasn't been additional capacity created for to ensure that evidence can be processed properly. Enough prosecutors, for example, to make sure that prosecution processes can be not necessarily fast tracked, but just done properly. Courts and forensic processes are already under pressure, and yeah, we need to make sure that everything is done properly.
Just explain to us, because I don't think many people understand how this process works. The SANDF is just here to secure the area. Will they be able to make arrests as well?
So there are provisions made in the Defence Act for them, according to which they can work. They actually get a certain amount of peace officer status. I don't know the Act off by heart now, but we discussed it in Parliament last week.
You don't know your job.
The bigger thing to understand is that they're here to secure the area for the police to then properly be able to conduct their searches. Obviously, the searching, if a SANDF member were to help, is under the supervision of a police member. They can't enter alone and just start searching, etc., or make arrests. So it's really a support function of the police to ensure that they can do their jobs properly.
And you said a little bit earlier you are concerned about the number of SANDF members that was promised versus what was deployed.
Yeah, so I mean, look, you can do a highly effective operation with very low numbers if it's planned properly. I think the problem here is that they indicated, 800 members, soldiers, then it became 547, then this morning we heard it's just over 200. So we're not sure yet. So we need to understand how that budget is being run. It's also important for the soldiers' sake. We need to make sure that they are cared for properly while they are here. One of my colleagues already indicated that they don't have the resources that they need at the bases where they are meant to be staying. So it is challenging. We've also heard that there's a potential fuel shortage. So these are all things that we need to go and confirm after today, and then go back to the oversight process and ensure that it's fixed as this operation continues.
You see Iran and all these ones. Now we don't have oil, bruh. And there was queues there at the flipping garage. Price going up by 3 rand petrol. Oh.
Thank you very much. Police Oversight Committee member there, Mr. Cameron, speaking to us on his impressions thus far. Like he said, it's very early days. They just started this morning with official operations. And as you can see in the back there's a vehicle. And Tlantla Faso will show you in the back. The vehicle is parked there. So this block effectively is cordoned off. And the same gentleman and the lady who stays there are still very much agitated about the situation. People are now shouting at each other. And we don't know.
Yeah, because they were snitching, bro. They were snitching, bro. Bro was cooking up in the back things he wasn't supposed to be cooking up. Now the police are there. They're like, bro, why you tell them?
The deployment of the SANDF, or if they are arguing amongst themselves about the situation in the area. We do know, of course, that Tafelsig is a hotbed of gang activity, crime, violent crime, yes, and of course substance abuse and the selling of drugs and the like. So
Shorty just got her pajamas outside, bro.
Here for the SANDF.
Others in gowns, they don't care.
The SAPS and also the Metro Police of the city of Cape Town. Let's maybe see if we can engage the lady in the green if she's willing to speak to us.
We want to see the lady in pajamas.
She's showing. Ma'am, good afternoon.
Show us her.
We're live on SABC News. How do you feel about the deployment of...
Ek is baie upset, want ons hou nie drank so goed as aan nie. Ek is 'n Muslim. Daai kan met hulle uit ons kind agter. Wat een en hy's 22, hy's 'n mental patient. Hulle kap 'n daai vrou se deure agter. Hy klonkies nog eens 8 jaar oud en hy siekelik. As hy reggie, ek het dit so losie.
Wat gaan jy doen?
Ek weet wat gaan ek sê, ek het weer 'n stap van vitamin. Daai kan agter sikkelik. Hy sikkelik sy ma het net 10 minute weg as sy.
Let me just quickly update you there. She says the SAPS broke into the home. They kicked down a door and they say the young man that they were busy with in the back is 22 years old. And there's no drugs or guns on the premises, according to her, saying that she's not going to leave it there. They feel it's unfair what's happening to them. She also made certain to say that she's a Muslim woman and they live honestly. Let's hear from
That's not what they heard in the streets.
lady in the purple gown. If she's sorry, young man, they're willing to speak.
As Toya the school, Mama smoke up at 54 Matapos. That's the leader.
Sê vir my mevrou,
dan is
weet julle
this?
waar die mense is wat die dwelms en die guns het?
En Matapos, alle bombo. Daar by Parkie Power Station. Hulle staan nag en dag smoke aan die aande. Ek staan by 55. Matapos met die gunne. En die aande, daar is sy skoolma. Toya, so skoolma, Rachel.
Well, this lady over here,
Spera.
she's saying some names there of the people that
Stoya.
carry guns.
It was
According
Toya,
to
man.
her, that hide the guns, that use the guns, that smuggle them at night. So this is certainly something that will agitate a lot of people, as you can imagine. And certainly this household here was highly upset by the arrival of the SANDF and
And
the
you'll find it's the ones who are the most upset are usually the most guilty. They're the ones, don't worry, they got the guns under the floor bed there.
SAPS members, and as
The
I said this
floorboard.
morning,
Is
we
it
were
floorbed?
told
Floorboard.
before the deployment that there is specific addresses that they will visit today as part of their first deployment of this major operation that is expected to last for the whole year.
In fact, that was going to be my next question to you, Mariska, how these homes are being identified, but I suppose it's largely been answered. We'll certainly keep a very close eye on developments with you throughout the course of the remaining afternoon. Mariska Bertha, live to us there from the streets of Tafelsig.
She really in them streets, man. She really in them streets, bro. In the Cape Flats, bro. Shout out SABC News. Yeah, it's your boy Toys on Blaze. And do I think it's right what the police are doing? Yes. I do think it's right, but how they're doing it, no. If they're just breaking in and kicking down doors, then, I mean, you know, that's a bit crazy, bro. That's a bit crazy, dude. I won't lie to you. But people like to exaggerate. I don't know if they really kicked down the door, bro. Did they kick it down? Like the way Bow Wow came out of that cage, bro, on his recent tour, bro. I don't know why I keep seeing that viral meme of Bow Wow just busting out of that cage, bro. Anyway, I just sidetracked. Yeah, don't annoy the daddies out there. At least handle them with care, man. You know what I'm saying? You can still do your searches without breaking down the doors, kicking people's dogs, throwing people's aunties. You don't have to do all that, bro. I don't know why when the military is involved, all of a sudden people get so aggressive, bro. Remember back down in lockdown days when you're outside, men were gunning at you, bro. Men were firing shots at your head top, bro, when you're outside, bro. Just for being outside, I was like, nah, this is crazy, bro. This is crazy, bro. This is crazy, bro. Bruh, have I all of a sudden transformed into some sort of criminal because the vid is on the loose? Because Covido is on the loose? Stop all that, man. Anyway, bro. Like, comment, and subscribe, man. Support Ways on Blaze, and yeah, please be gentle, guys. Yes, they must be searched. Yes, because we need to eradicate crime in these high crime areas. We do. And this is the only way we can do it, to go and search and inspect, bro. Because look at Santon. We don't search and inspect the mansions. Look at the nonsense going on in the mansions. Every time we're finding a seized mansion full of narcotics. It was an OF house. It was this, it was that. So we must search now, bro. Because we don't know what's going on behind people's four walls anymore. They're doing too much. You can come search me. Me, I know I've got no guns. I've got nothing illegal here. I've only got my ZAR, bro. You're going to take me to jail for ZAR, dude. No, you're not going to take me. So that's why I'm not. Just don't kick down my door, please, dog. Like, there's no need to be kicking down the door. Knock, I will open the door. If I don't open, maybe you can kick down. Maybe they weren't opening the door. That's why they kicked the thing down, bro. Who knows? Who knows? I'm just speculating, all right? Like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one.